Alrighty. What's up, everybody? Primetime CP23 here. With me, as always, is Jake.
Hello!
Also known as Sietod.
Is that what I go by?
We use basic words around Jake, like, this is Jake.
Goddess of Herbalitis.
Anyway, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to stream and try to get me to Legend later on. Considering I've never been to Legend and I'm terrible at this game, I don't think we're going to get there.
We'll see. Oh, I can't say that on stream, never.
But it could happen. We'll see. Right now, we're going to do a quick little podcast discussing the League of Explorers expansion for Hearthstone, the general things that it's done to the game, whether or not Reno's a good thing. And we have actually not discussed any of this off stream, so...
So this is going to be fun, ladies and gents.
Yeah. So, right now we've got where I actually am on League of Explorers. I've not actually played much of it because I had this idea like a month ago and we just hadn't got around to it. So anyway, first things first, Reno Jackson.
My last name, so I immediately approved the card.
Shut up.
Blow me.
Yeah, so Reno, what do you think?
So the shell that Reno is in right now is a modified handlock that uses all cards of one copy of a bunch of different cards that, when put together, are really effective. Like Stallion, Fugin, Shadow Flame, all these cards that handlock normally had. But now it's substituting the big threats of multiples, like you used to run 2x Mountain Giants or 2x Molten Giants. Now you got Stallion Fugin in there to threaten whatever the big guy's name is. I can't think of it right now. But threatens
Big guy?
Yeah, the 11 and 11 big guy.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. So the deck has also been running Bronzebeard a lot.
Ugh, it's disgusting.
It's the best thing I have seen for the meta in a long time. Because Face Hunter can no longer be a thing as long as this deck is around. And we all know how Primetime feels about Face Hunter.
Why do you say that? Just because I'm playing it now?
No, just because you usually have such love for it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really stop face hunters. It just kinda bones them.
I mean, drop Bran on turn 3. Turn 4, you coin out anti-healbot, and you're healing for 16.
Yeah.
That's it. It's over.
Well, and that's the thing, is also with Reno, you end up having these decks that are just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. Because, I mean, these decks can withstand... Usually on Reno, you're going to heal about 20, give or take. And then, if you can brand Bronzebeard with a heal bot, that's 16 more. So that's some serious damage that your opponent has to do. Normally, when Reno comes out, you end up going to Fatigue, which I don't know really how I feel about asking for games to go to Fatigue. But at the same time, it hasn't really affected like the frequency that people are playing things like Control Warrior. These decks are still a thing, so in that respect, it hasn't really changed anything. So
the Reno deck, like you mentioned, is the most tenacious deck in the format right now. While he's right, Healbot can potentially heal 16, Earthen Ring Farseer, another 6 on top of that. Wow, what a way to kill him.
I know, right?
And then you've got Reno that brings back to full, and then Jiraxis on top of that. That's a 45, 61, 67-point life swing off of those cards alone.
Yeah.
So if you can even find a way to deal 10 damage to your opponent, by the time you run out of cards, by the time you're in fatigue, your opponent will probably be out of threats. The only deck that's really good against this deck right now is Secret, and that's just because it can win out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, you have to react to them playing Mysterious Challenger with Reno Jackson, or chances are you lose the next turn.
Yeah. I don't know. In general, I think Reno's a good thing for the meta because it creates these... How do I word it? It's like saying, well, hey, you're going to be able to have a really strong win condition, which is just healing yourself for 1,000,000. But at the same time, you can only have one of each card in the deck. That makes legendary decks not feel so out of place. If a deck is running 6 or 8 legendaries, which normally only like Handlock ever did, Handlock, Control Warrior, things like that, now suddenly we have another deck like that. And because I personally prefer control decks rather than aggro decks, I think it's a good thing, because we need more control decks, even if it is something like Reno that is a little annoying. I have no idea what these things do.
So I'm in much the same boat. I like all the decks, but I'm more of a mid-range player. And Reno, I don't mind Reno because, mid-range beats control. It's just a thing.
Generally, yeah.
Wait.
I'm not sure how to feel about all this mess.
I hate this one.
Well, we're getting off subject here because of this stupidity. Well, so what about the meta in general? I mean, with League of Explorers, we've seen Aggro Shaman become a thing, which is good because now we finally have a Shaman deck, period. That's my cat, by the way. He ran away. And I think it's a really good thing to have Shaman decks in the mix, because we haven't had any for so long.
So where I'm at with this, as far as the Shaman deck, I'm a big fan of Shaman. The toolkit that they have, being able to summon totems, I don't like that they're randomly generated. I think they should go through the list. But being the fact that they have so many abilities that revolve around these totems, and then they had this overload mechanic that nothing really touched on. Like, all we had with Overload was that stupid elemental gets +1/+1 every time you cast an Overload creature.
Yeah, which most of these aggro Shaman decks aren't even running that.
Right. So, that Tunnel Trog gets +1 for every overloaded mana crystal you use. Every single one. So, basically, the big fun turn is you turn 1 Tunnel Trog, turn 2 Crackle Crackle, hopefully maximizing your damage at 6/6, so 12. And then that's 3 damage coming from Tunnel Trog, so that's 9 damage turn 2. Turn 3, if you have a Lava Shock in hand and a Lightning Bolt, that's another 5. Plus you have the Tunnel Trog swinging for another 4, so that's 9 more. So that's turn 2. Turn 3, you've done 18 damage to their face.
Yeah.
It's an insane amount of damage that comes out of this deck. But without that turn 1 Tunnel Trog, it's kind of weak.
Yeah, Tunnel Trog itself has kind of created that deck, because, I mean, we had plenty Oh, plenty of just face decks. But now we have one that actually that has just one specific card that it has to draw.
If you go through and look at this list, the only card that has been added to this deck from Blue Explorers, there's only 2 cards.
Yeah.
Only 2. Finley Murgleton and Tunnel Drunk. That's it. So those were the 2 cards needed to take a entire class that had no chance whatsoever of being anywhere relevant in the meta, and just turning it on its head. That this is now number 2 or number 3 on the tier list everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a hard boss, by the way.
Yeah, I see that.
This one took me a few minutes.
Do you know what it is on Heroic? Do you just get like 1 mana to do everything?
I don't know, I didn't try Heroic. I don't usually do Heroics.
I never really have. Ever. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think we needed some more diversity because we had, for so long, we pretty much have just had, you know, Secret Paladin and Patron Warrior just ruling everything. Well, now Patron has been nerfed, and it's still hanging around tier 2, but it's not nearly what it was.
I mean, to be fair, Handlock has always been really good.
Yeah.
Up until League came out, and then with Secret Paladin, or up until Grand Tournament, and Secret Paladin came out, and it just kind of.
Yeah, Handlock took a huge hit when the Grand Tournament came out because it didn't get any new tools. Everything else, or most decks anyway, got a couple of new, really shiny new tools. Like Mysterious Challenger was added to mid-range Paladin. Argent Horseman was added to Face Hunter. You know, and it's gotten to a point now where Face Hunter isn't even the thing. So, I mean, that right there tells you how screwy the meta is right now. And it's great. I think if we could get a couple rogue decks that were pretty decent, I think we would be in great shape for the current meta. But unfortunately...
And with that said, there is a pretty okay rogue deck lingering around out there.
Well, there's like 4 okay rogue decks floating around.
Okay, there's 2 okay rogue decks floating around. And one of which I could actually see myself playing, just because of the burst that it actually has, makes it really fun.
Oil, I assume.
Yeah, Oil Rogue.
Yeah. Like I said, we haven't actually talked about this stuff off stream, so...
We're Halo guys usually.
Yeah. We play a lot more Halo than... Oh, I'm so gonna lose.
Yep. Told you it's hard, dude.
Yeah. So... What do you even get for winning this one?
To go on. Oh, what if you get a... Oh, come on. Yeah!
Does that work?
Yeah, you win.
Can I barrel forward and win?
Yeah, you win.
I will take it. Yeah, I meant like what cards do I get?
I don't remember, to be honest. Might be Brand.
Tomb Spider, Unearthed Raptor. Raptor is almost a thing. Raptor Rogue. I don't know why it's not running Undertaker because it's all Death Rattle stuff. But it's kinda sorta a thing. When Unearthed Rapper first came out, it started really looking like that was going to be the new Rogue deck. But then everyone discovered that you could just silence the Raptor Rogue, or the Unearthed Raptor, and it wasn't a big deal anymore. Oh, crap, I didn't mean to do
that. We're doing this again, huh?
No, we are not. I did it once, that's all I need to do. So...
The stone giant Arcadus has got the headpiece, but he won't give it up without a fight.
Summon an O2 statue for both players. Alrighty then. I thought that's where you got Keeper out of.
Oh yeah, this one. No, you get Keeper out of the class challenges.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the class cards you only get out of class challenge. Or no, that's how it used to be. You don't do it on this one. But I think you get Keeper out of class challenges.
Whatever. We'll go with it. And we'll use...
Also, I have played against a Murloc Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrifying.
Murloc Paladin is this close to becoming a thing.
All it's missing is, I don't know, a Murloc card draw. I think card draw is what it's missing.
Yeah, card draw would be good, because, I mean, right now, pretty much Divine Favor is the only card that deck can run.
And Cold Light Oracle.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, Cold Light Oracle is kind of a neutral at best because it draws for both of you.
Yeah.
And if you're playing against Mage, you're just kind of in trouble at that point.
So, yeah, it's,
Too busy burying you in stone.
what do you think about that chick, the Starseeker, the one that gives you the golden monkey?
So I've seen this Gold Monkey deck around.
I've seen a few people in running it in Reno Rock.
So yeah, I've seen that as well. It kind of concerns me slightly just because Reno Lock tends to dig into fatigue,
yeah,
and if you dig into fatigue with that card, you're just kind of boned.
yeah, that's true.
Like you play it, and all these cards that you could have been using for bonuses are now just kind of just sitting there. You know?
Exactly.
They're randomized legendaries. Don't get me wrong, all the legendaries in the game, most legendaries in the game are pretty good. But
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of legendaries out that aren't at least decent. Gotta love aggro decks, don't you?
that's part of the reason why I like this this Tunnel Trog Shaman deck so much.
Mm-hmm.
When I play Magic, I use a deck called Burn, which uses spells to kill your opponent. It's much the same concept. You're slinging a bunch of spells at your opponent's face.
Yeah. But I think that's about all we had to talk about. League of Explorers, overall, it's a good set. I think it's mostly good for the game. Reno can get a little annoying at times, but you have to remember they're only running one of every card.
Yeah, it's
And
not
that-
Dr. Balance, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not something that... Yes, it's something that you have to plan your game around, because you have to deal enough damage to get him to drop Reno, but you have to restrain enough so that you have enough damage for after he drops Reno and clears your board the next turn. Which inevitably happens. So, overall, I would say it's a pretty good set. In a weird way, I think the in a weird way, I think the actual challenges aren't difficult enough. I think these adventures, the actual adventures that you get each individual card from, I think they're by far the easiest out of the 3 adventure packs. But, I mean, it's still fun. it's still enjoyable to go through and do all this. So anyway, well, I think that's it. Do you have any final thoughts on this, Jake?
Nerf Reno.
Nerf Reno to what?
Nerf Reno to your starting deck can only contain one card of each.
Oh, instead of
Your current deck, because that kind of there's a mage deck running around out there right now running Reno Jackson, and it's also running 2 ice blocks, 2 duplicates,
freeze.
2
Yeah, the current freeze mage deck is kind of stupid, and because it runs the Mad Scientist, it allows them to literally just pull the secrets out of the deck, so that then there's only one on the board in the deck remaining.
in the deck, and then Reno can heal him to full.
Yeah, it's I definitely hear what you're saying. I mean, and that I wouldn't really consider that a nerf either. I consider that more just like fine-tuning the text on it, more so than actually nerfing it. But yeah. I do agree that that would be a good change. So how good is Kool-Aid?
Terrible.
Dude, I will end you. Life doesn't get better than Kool-Aid. It just doesn't. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. That's going to do it for, what, episode 3 of our little podcast? We've still yet to do a Halo podcast. We need to get on that.
Yeah, well, someone gets all butthurt about Halo, and then they fucking disappear on me for a month. So, God, I've had girlfriends like you, and then dump them. If you were my girlfriend, I would dump you.
Well, I guess it's a good thing this is a bromance, not a relationship.
It's a bromance. I see what he did there. Go fuck yourself.
I think we're gonna call that a night. Thanks, everybody.
That's the end of it right there. Go fuck yourself. Was
okay,
the end of it.
That's the